Is there a risk in that when we become so orientated by money?
Yep.
I've had this conversation with a few guests about, are we really driven or are we being dragged? And how do we make sure we're not being dragged so we can be intentional about living lives in line with our values?
Yeah, I'm not proposing this is what the world should be. I'm proposing what it is in a capitalist society. And that is, I think America, I just moved here, so I don't know if society is different here. I have noticed here that people ask you where you're from. In America, they ask you what you do. But America becomes more like itself every day, and that it is a kind, generous place if you have money. It's a rapacious, violent place if you don't have money. And I figured that out very, very soon. The way I saw it was that poor people having an entirely different experience with the US healthcare system than rich people. I just saw it as, if I want to have a life of opportunity, of prosperity, selection set of mates, even love, to be wealthy in America is to be loved. People find you interesting, they want to know you, you have a broader selection set of mates. It is the idolatry of the dollar and the impact that wealth has on your life in America is unfortunate and 100% true, and it gets more true every day. And one of the things I coach young people around is you just have to figure out a way to become economically viable. I'm not saying you need to do what I did and work all the time and be very have a monocular focus on money, which I did. I think there's a lot of people who decide they're not gonna live to work, they're gonna work to live. And they move to a lower cost region, they live within their means, and they have really good lives. I think that's a nice way to live your life. The majority of young people I'm around, by virtue of the fact I teach at a business school, expect to not only be in the top 10%, they expect to be in the top 1% economically. And so what I encourage young people to do is have a sober conversation. Where do you expect to be economically? And the majority of young people you talk to expect to be in the top 1%. And I don't know anyone who's gotten there who didn't inherit money, who didn't sacrifice a lot. And what I tell young people is you can't have it all. You just can't have it all at once. And I think in this competitive environment, to be great at anything, you not only need talent, you not only need luck, you just need a tremendous amount of grit and a tremendous commitment. There are some people who are so talented that they can have balance in their lives at a young age and get economic security. I think you should assume you're not one of those people, and assume that, like most of us who have achieved some level of economic security, it's required a significant trade-off. It came at a cost. It came at a cost of relationships. It came at a cost of stress. I mean, it takes a toll. But the reason I have balance in my life right now, I have a lot of balance in my life right now, is because I didn't have very much when I was your age, when I was young. I mean, you're an entrepreneur. It's hard to phone it in as an entrepreneur. It just requires a level of, people think we're extraordinarily talented, that we're just blessed with some special skill. I would argue that you have more of a risk appetite, you're willing to endure public failure, because there's no blaming anyone else when your business crashes. It's very public failure. And also, more than anything, you have a natural instinct to be thinking about the business all the time and working at it most of the time. That's, there's a relationship between intelligence and success, but it tops out at about 110, 120 IQ. It's better to be smart. You're more likely to be successful if you're smart. But the difference between being smart and being genius has no correlation between success. That's where grit and perseverance and resilience take over.